Welcome everybody to our webinar, Turn Business Processes into Real-Time Value for Your Business using Splunk. My name is Paolo Prigione, and I will be guiding this webinar from the sideline. And first, I want to introduce how this webinar will be conducted for us all. Gauri, if you can move to the next slide, please. Yeah. So all participants will be muted, and please, for posting questions, use the Q&A functionality. We want to grant your own privacy because we will be recording this meeting, so please don't use any names. If you want to personally reach out to us after the webinar, we will be sharing email address to do that at the end of the Q&A section. As mentioned, this is going to be recorded, so please no personal information available here. And first, I would like to introduce our company, COCUS AG, who is a German-based consulting company which provides IT services. And he is headquartered in Germany, but has offices in Portugal as well. As you can see, we are about 280 IT consultants in the company. So we consider ourselves large enough for being a trusted long-term advisor for our partner and customers, but also we are small enough to be able to be agile on the delivery of services themselves. We have 20 years of experience and we stem out of the telco industry. And because of this, maybe we are convinced that interconnecting entities, being them companies or people, is the real road to innovation. We offer a portfolio of services spanning from traditional mobile application development to managed services and up to innovative network solutions. We also offer, Gauri, at least for me, this is stuck, thanks. We offer a broad range of security solutions as well. On top of those, we offer managed services, managed CM services as well. And also, this is something which is really, really new for us. We offer ready-to-deploy 5G networks to build local 5G campuses. Within the data department, which is the department hosting this webinar today, we offer cloud architecture and data engineering services. But also, we have a really strong Splunk team who is presented here today, who is able to offer standard and customized solutions for our customers. And one of these solutions is the one that my colleagues Gauri Bansol and Niklas Steinert will be presenting to you. So big thanks to Gauri and Niklas for the upcoming webinar. And you may start.
Hello all. Thank you for joining. And thank you, Paolo, for giving the introduction. I am Gauri Bansode, working as a Splunk consultant at COCUS AG. I'm having 6+ years exclusively on Splunk, and I like talking about Splunk. That's why today I'm here. I'm super excited that you are also here in the same session. Apart from work, I like swimming. Handing over to you, Niklas, to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Gauri. So my name is Niklas, and I've been working for COCUS since over 3.5 years. I'm working for COCUS as a data scientist, but over the last year, I was working with Gauri with Splunk for a big customer media company. And besides working, I like to cook and running activities.
Thank you, Niklas. Okay, and then this is the agenda for today's session. We are going to walk you through the opportunity of improvement into the process. Then we will introduce the process observability. Then we will walk you through our solution that we developed at COCUS called as Process Engine. We will have some showcase followed by tips and tricks and technical demo. And we will end the session with the demo. There will be some time for Q&A. As mentioned earlier, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A, which will be answered in the last part of the session. Okay, then let's get started. What is process? Process is a set of activities that are getting completed to accomplish some goal. As you can see on the screen, to basically purchase to purchase anything from the e-commerce, we will have to go through the set of steps. That is, you as a customer have to first create the account on their portal. Then you have to go through all the different items that are available. Once you like any item, you will add it to the cart. Then you will do the payment. Then basically you will get a order place confirmation. After some days, the item will get delivered at your place along with the delivery of the confirmation. This process looks so simple on screen, but what goes behind is very complicated. If you see, basically there are different steps that are running behind this to accomplish these particular milestones. Then there are different IT systems involved. Each is having their own way of basically having unique identifier. There are different identifier for each and every system. There are different IT systems involved. There are again different third-party systems are also involved. I know with the digitization, most of the things are already on the IT. But with that, basically you can save time and money, but without effective tracking of the process, you can lose a lot of money. One of the best way to enhance the efficiency and achieve the customer satisfaction is to monitor, analyze, and analyze these processes. The tools that are available in the market to do this task are either not real time or they cannot correlate the data. But many companies are already using the IT. Many companies are already using the Splunk to do the application delivery and IT operations. If you have Splunk in your place, then you can use the same tool to even gain the visibility of the process. Let's see how to do that. Okay, then basically process observability provides the insights necessary for the daily process operation. Let's see how the process observability can help you here in this situation. In the diagram, you can see that on the y-axis there is a time, and as you know, in the real time the process will not run as expected. Every user journey will have different variations on that. Like in case of case A, you can see that basically it was as per the expectation, the steps that we have seen in the very first screen. But for case B, you can see that the add to cart is twice. Again, for case C, you can see that the person was trying to do the payment, but it got stuck somewhere, and that's why it couldn't complete process could not be get completed. But if you have the logs related to this in your Splunk environment and your logs have the timestamp, then correlation of IDs and the step name with this attribute, with the few configurations from Splunk, we can create a process model for you, which looks something like this. And with few configurations, basically you can define the performance. You can define the performance expectation for your process in the form of SLA and SLO, with the help of which you can set some kind of threshold. Let's say if I'm hitting on the API for the add to cart, and if it don't get if the process don't get completed within the 1 minute, then I can get a kind of real time notification, which and this particular feature help you to identify which all are the services in your systems are not working as expected, and you'll be able to identify the bottlenecks in your system. And once you know the bottleneck, then like you have the control over your system. You can do whatever you like. You can rectify the bottlenecks and improve your processes. So basically, process observability open your doors for the questions like who initiated the task which leads to the issue, what is the status of the process, where and when and where the issues are happening in your system, and why are the issues happening in your system, or which are the areas that are getting affected with that. Process observability open your doors for the dashboards and reports. Also, it basically gives you the insight for the particular process case, different set of steps that are getting executed. Also, with the visual representation, you can see in the screen, and it gives you the insight for the complete whole process, giving you the status of where are your processes residing currently in your process flow. Here is the link to our talks that we deliver at Splunk. Don't worry, these slides are going to be shared with you, so you can watch that later. Okay, as you have already seen, what can be achieved with the process observability? To achieve the process observability at COCUS, we have developed a solution called as Process Engine, which gives the end-to-end visibility for your key processes. There are 3 key features for the process engine. They are near real-time, correlation on multiple IDs, and activity level SLO. Let's see each feature one by one. So near real time, process engine is capable enough of operating the processes in the micro batches. What this means is there are some jobs which are running at particular interval, which basically filters the data, formats the data, and aggregates the data. And for the complex, at any point of time, if you hit the process engine will have the recent snapshot of your processes, which will tell you like what's happening with the particular case or what's happening as an overall process. For the complex cases, we run multiple different jobs. Each one is dealing only with the part of the process. And by this way, we basically give you the real-time analysis of your processes. And since we are from the data department, we know the different challenges with the data. So process engine also have the capability to deal with the late entries in the data. So process engine re-evaluate the past on that. And these features basically decrease the delay of analysis from days to hours. And how this is going to benefit you is you can basically react timely on your processes issues, and it will give you the access to the customer impact on the downtimes. Again, we are very proud because we can correlate the different systems that are present in your processes. So process observability can give you the ability to track your processes across all of different systems that are available in your process. And basically, to do this correlation, we use some kind of features called a chain of IDs. But what this feature give you is the end-to-end ability. So at any point of time, you will be able to know, okay, till step 3, my particular cases get completed. So it will give you the ability to see the whole end-to-end visibility of your processes. And what is the benefit of this is that basically you will be able to drill down and get the exact pinpoint what all are the bottlenecks that are happening in your system. And if you know the bottleneck, you can solve it, you can rectify. The main issue here is that without process observability, you cannot identify the bottlenecks. And with the correlation on multiple IDs, we broaden your visibility to give you the ability to see at each and every different systems that are available in your processes. Then analysis, basically with the correlation, you can analyze the data from off the shelf and with the third-party systems as well. The third key feature is the activity level SLO. With the process engine, we can define the service level objectives in the form of SLO and SLA that we have seen in the very first slide, and as a whole end-to-end process as well. And how this gonna benefit you is you can set the performance expectation for each of them, and as and when they are getting break, you will get to know either with the help of the real-time alerts that are running. So the automated alerting will let you know when particular case is exceeding the limit. Again, this can help you to identify the deviations with the help of which you can basically with the help of this you can set also some kind of action alerts, like in case if this is getting delayed, run this particular set of activities to suffice the further needs. Then also basically activity level SLO help you to compare the processes over different software release. Let's say if you have deployed something in the May which was performing something else, but if you have deployed the recent release on June, you can see how they are how the counts are getting different from each month with respect to different releases of the system. In this way, you can get to know the impact. You can basically get to know the viability of your software. Okay, then let's move to next slide. Process engine answer the questions at all of the levels. So in the company, everybody is getting benefited with the process engine. How to let's see how each one is getting benefited. For the management, what is important is management want to basically take care of their critical processes at any point of time. They want to ensure that their critical processes are in the good health, and if they are not in the good health, they want to understand which process is having the issues and where they need to intervene. For the process manager, what is important is that process manager always want to ensure that whether SLAs are getting respected or not. Again, he want to ensure that how much is the volume of processes that are getting into the system, and he want to ensure that if there are any issues, where are the issues present in your system. Then for the service manager, what is important is that service manager only focuses on its own service, and he want to ensure that the processes are flowing smoothly through their service. The services can be at different. The services can be at different parts in the processes, but yeah, with the process engine, service manager will be able to get the answers what he's looking for. For the IT operation mostly care about the service disturbance, and if there are any disruption with the service, the IT managers want to identify what all are the customers who are getting impacted and what all are the services that are getting impacted with the disturbance. For the service desk, at any point of time, service desk only care about one case at a time, and they want to in-depth get the visibility across that particular case. So with the process engine, we can get the visibility of any particular case or as a whole process, as the whole process as well. Okay, then what all are the different benefits that we are getting out of process engine? With the process engine, we get the insights in the minutes, not in the days, which will basically give you the breathing space to decide your future plans, or to design your to manage your things in time. Then reduce the MTTR to minutes. The active alert on the step basis will give you will let the stakeholder know what's happening with their processes, and if there are any basically breakage in the system, they will be able to know in time, as and when the incident is taking place, instead of knowing after the incident happened. So they will have some time to take care of the things. Reduction of the service time for the hotline calls. So with the process engine, we empower the service desk with not only the broad range of answers, but also in-depth answer for each and every case. Also, with the process engine, process engine can help innovate the customer-facing progress status. So in the self-service portal itself, basically process engine can give you the answers for your different cases. So even you don't need to reach out to the hotline numbers. The service will be available to your finger, and you can just use the services on fly. Okay, then let's move to the successful implementation at German media company. So we are running the process engine from 2018, and we know we have delivered this solution at multiple places, and we want to tell you the success story at one of the company where we have delivered the solution. It was at the German media company, and the successful implementation of process engine at company has significantly transformed the business analysis capability and operational efficiency. For the CRM, company could get end-to-end visibility on the customer journey, which basically helped them to identify the area where there was an issue, and basically this helped them to accomplish the customer satisfaction. For the supply chain, the deliveries which were blocked due to the SAP could be identified within minutes instead of within hours instead of days. For the sales journey, company with the process engine, company got the help in identifying the customer interaction at different stages in their sale, and basically this will help them to improve the customer experience. For the web chat, with the process engine, company could reduce the risk in the web chat, and this gives you the more trust between the customers. Okay, we have already seen the successful success stories. Let's look at some of the dashboard that we have created for them. Okay, this is the very first dashboards that came out of process engine back from summer 2018. This dashboard shows the end-to-end different processes from the moment the customer ordered the good until it get delivered to your home. So here you can see that the different items in the processes like SAP, DHL, and the delivery. This dashboard was success as well as failure at the same time, because this dashboard was too complex for the users to use it in everyday life. But this dashboard is having a special place in our heart, because this dashboard gave us the realization of what is possible with the process engine, and we were very happy with this dashboard. So this dashboard is having a special place in our heart. And again, this is one of the epic panel which shows basically the duration of process in the panel. As you know, we are talking about the media company on the big match day. Basically, a lot of customers were trying to order the online streaming service. So the match was supposed to start at 2. The customer who tried to place their order prior could basically complete their whole process within 5 minutes. As you can see that there were around 62% of the customers who were able to complete their process within 5 minutes. But for the customer who tried to order their device on time, they couldn't complete their registration before the kickoff. As a result, basically with the process engine, the company could or the service desk was able to identify the details of the customer, and they refunded them. This basically increased the loyalty of the customer on the service, and the company was too happy for that. This is one of the dashboard in the recent times, and this dashboard basically you can see that there is a change in the look and feel over the time, and we like to thank you the dashboard studio for the recent changes in the system. This dashboard basically shows a pre-go live for the cloud native system. Here you can see that the different steps in the process, and for each different step you can see the count is there, which is showing how much number of process have passed through that particular system. Also on the right hand side you can see that there are some KPIs also. This dashboard is also one of the one which we like most. Okay, then entering into the best practices session. Okay, so here are some of the tips and tricks for the effective process monitoring. So before doing anything, we want to ask you to grasp your complete process from end to end. Analyze each and every step from the start till the end, and you will have to also understand that which step does what, then how the steps are completed and how the steps are connected to each other, what information is getting passed from one step to another. If you have the clear understanding of this, then only you will be able to monitor your process effectively. One more important second pillar of this is understanding the boundaries. You will have to have the clear understanding of basically where the step begins and where the particular step ends. Okay, also you will have to note down what all are the inputs that are getting passed to start the process, and what is the output of any of the step when it complete, what is the output it is getting sent to the next step. Then the third important pillar here is the document the process. Don't rely on any person. Mostly what happens in the big organization, there is one person who knows the end-to-end flow, and the moment he left the company, there will be no one to take care of the things. So we urge you to have the good documentation of the things, and to do that, design the activity sequence of the flow, then establish the impact of the process on the business, then identify the point of contact for each and every critical step. If something happens, who is the proper point of contact, so that we can send the alerts directly to the main person, and then he can forward it to the different other guys who are responsible for the respective handling of the task. And plan the course of action in case of failure of the system. So this all the activities that are defined here not only help you to basically do the process monitoring, but this will also help you to effectively do your task, so that you can have the great success with the process monitoring. Okay, then in case if you don't have the monitoring solution yet, we do have something for you. Is the set of questions that you need to consider before selecting your monitoring tool. So your tool should have basically, before selecting any of the tool, you will have to answer yourself. You will have to give answer to yourself for this question. So what are the monitoring goals you are looking at? Whether you want to have the customer expectation, or whether you want to identify the bottleneck in the system, or do you have anything else in mind for the process monitoring? What type of processes you want to monitor? Whether you want to monitor the linear processes, or you do have the branches of the processes. Accordingly, the tools may vary with respect to the focus that you are looking at. Then how real time do you want the tool to do the task for you? Is it okay to have the periodic updating, or do you want it in the real time? Then the tool should be capable enough of integrating with your existing system. The tool should be able to provide you the alert and notification in time so that you can get some breathing space to work or act on your incidences. Then there are some self-explanatory questions, like you will have to also consider the stability and performance. It should be able to cope up with your current and the future volume of the data. Then it should have the ease of implement, and also the cost of ownership. Like you will have to consider the upfront cost, the maintenance, again the hidden fees, everything you'll have to consider. And only if you feel that the value that you are putting is way less than the outcome that you are getting, then only you're selecting the proper tool. Then it should have the training and support for you, and it should be future proofing. It should be able to accommodate with your future changes with respect to the technology stack, or with respect to the strategic decisions that you might take in future. So if all of these questions are answered in your mind, then you have the clear picture of what you are looking at, and then you will be able to opt for the correct tool in the market. Okay. Then what is the minimum criteria for the solution? So here we have listed few of the points which help you to at least, you will have to ensure that at least these points are available in your solution. Then only it will give you the real-time value for that. So first point is near real-time monitoring. It shouldn't be like we are living in the IT era. So the batch processing will not help you. You will have to have the solution which can provide you the real-time monitoring of the processes. Then the alert action. We need to, or the tool should be able to provide you. Tool should have the capability to notify you and send you the alert along with different kind of action, so that in your absence the system should be able to do the respective task for you. Then basically it should have the ecosystem connectivity. The tool won't be of any use if you are not able to connect with the different systems that are available under your processes. So it should be able to connect to each other. It should be able to correlate the data. Then cost effective. You should be able to get the return on investment that you are putting into the tool. With respect to usability, there should be the facility to have the unified dashboards which can be understood by the layman, so that he can do the respective action what can be taken instead of going into the technical part of the processes. Then ease of implementation and support. Until your colleagues can use the tool, understand the tool, it won't be very effective in your organization. So basically there should be the support from the provider to adopt the technical things before using the tool. And also the learning curve should be very less. Okay, then let's jump into the technical section. Okay, what all are the components? What are the components in the process engine? So at any, as you know, like to monitor anything, you will have your data sources. There should be some system to send your data to Splunk. Once we have the data into the Splunk, then we run some kind of searches on that, which we call as a safe searches, which basically filters the data, formats the data, and aggregates the data. And then we feed this data to the process engine. Process engine do some magic at its end and send the data to the KV store, which is nothing but the MongoDB. So you can consider the collection as a table. So there are two different tables that we are maintaining: the instance table and the step table. The instance table keep the high level details, like if you place the order, all the details related to that order will be kept in the instance collection. However, the details related to each and every step along with the metadata will be kept in the step collection. And then we fire the queries on this collection to generate the dashboard reports and alerts for us. Okay, then how come the process engine update? So at any point of time, there are different kind of jobs that are running to keep the process engine up to date at any point of time. And basically you can see that there are some kind of searches that we run which look something like this, and these searches basically put the data into the MongoDB. As you already know, there are two different MongoDB tables that we are maintaining, and based on the different flags that you are set at this, the writing of the data will vary according to the flag that you have set. Okay, then let's move into the dynamic flow display. So Process Engine is not only capable of putting your data into the tables and give you the real-time value, it will also make your life easy by giving the visual representation of the data, which you can see in the screen. So basically, Process Engine will give you the end-to-end visibility on different steps that are happening with each and every case. Like here, you can see that there are step 1, step 2, step 3, and along with that, it will give you the real-time. It will give you the duration, how much it took to go from one step to another. Also, there is a good visualization that is available in the second diagram, where you can see that there was some problem with the fourth step. The problem was basically it already breached the SLO, and that's why the color of that particular box is red. Just at looking at the box, you'll be able to know that the process couldn't. There are some places, or there are some steps which are not as which didn't perform in the time as expected, and just at looking at the colors, you'll be able to know what's happening with your system. Okay, then basically we are on the our very important slide, unlocking the process insights with the Process Engine. So gives you the summary of the details that we have discussed. So firstly, manage your business processes. The need of the Process Engine. Without effective tracking of your processes, you not only lose time and money, but also lose the control on your system. It's like you're randomly going to the doctor for the regular checkup. You yourself feel you're super fit, but then doctor find out that you have the high blood pressure, and basically he will give you some remedy to basically treat that particular thing. And same thing, like if you don't treat in time, it is going to give you a lot of pain for the going down the line. It's same with the steps as well. If you don't treat the small issue in the time, it is going to give you the bad impact in the long run. So it's very, very important to even look at the small different issues that are happening in your system, and with the Process Engine we can do that. The goal of the process observability are basically we want to identify the problems quickly, so that you get the enough time to operate on them. And if basically you fix it quickly, it is not going to impact, it is not going to, the problem won't be faced by the upcoming new entries. Only, less, there will be only less cases which are getting affected with that. And this is continuously updating your things and continuously identifying your problem will basically anticipate all of the problems in the system, wherein you will one day you will have the robust system which gonna basically give you the success a lot. So basically the goal of the observability is to detect the problem quickly, and the second key goal is to measure the performance against the established goal. Until you measure something, you cannot reach the goal. So to reach the goal, the very first step is to measure something and then identify the gap, like how much we need to increase more to reach that particular goal. And with the process observability, you can basically measure this particular thing. Then what all are the benefits? So here you can see that the technical benefits of these are Process Engine give you the ability to have real-time end-to-end insights on your processes. So as we have already discussed, but I would like to just repeat my statement, like as a part of conclusion, like with the Process Engine, you'll be able to get the not only the real-time insight, but also the good visualization of your end-to-end processes, and also for the specific case. And basically with the Process Engine, you can identify and avoid the bottleneck. The SLA that you have set and the drill down and the alert are going to help you to identify the services which are painful, and timely reaction to rectify that particular issue is going to help you to avoid the bottleneck in the system. And if you have both of these two things into your place, it is going to help you to optimize the efficiency of the process. Also, there are some benefits with respect to the organization. You can achieve the customer satisfaction with the Process Engine. How is basically with the streamlined flows, And with the continuous improvement, basically the efficiency of the process will increase, which leads to the customer satisfaction. Then the impact on the revenue. With the robust service, basically the customer trust will build on the solution that you are, on the processes that you are running, and this will basically help you to gain the new acquisitions in the market. Continuous improvement. Yeah, so it's always like basically find the area of enhancement, then implement the changes and rectify in the regular basis. So it's not just like, you have developed a solution one time. Continuous improvement and basically continuous improvement to adapt with the new changes is very important for the success of your organization. So that is all that I want to tell you about the process engine. Then I will ask Nicholas to drive you with the live demo. Handing over to you, Nicholas.
Yes, thank you, Gauri. So I hope my screen is visible right now.
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, what I've prepared for the demo. So it's the following. So in our demo, we are basically working for an online retailer, and yeah, they want to basically monitor the whole purchase process. So with the help of Dashboard Studio, we have built this dashboard where we basically monitor the full order process. So from the order placement on the web GUI to the payment, the manufacturing of the product, up to the delivery and confirmation by the customer. In some cases, if the customer is not happy, we can contact our customer care and try to return this product. In some cases, as you can see, the product can be lost, but yeah, it's an external supply provider, so therefore it's not in our control here. What we also see is basically that for some critical steps, we have here the time, and for each process step, we can basically have a view on this, basically on the orders. So by clicking on it, we have a list, an overview of all these specific processes, as you can see here. Here we also see a bar chart of some tags of the processes. So meaning here some processes had some error tags, some other processes has also some tags that the process has successfully completed. But we also see where the product has been manufactured. So our customer has basically 3 factories. So one is Düsseldorf, one is Cologne, one is Leverkusen, where these components of the products are manufactured. And we can drill it down even further. So as you see, we have here a list of the full flows of all the processes which has gone through this step. And by clicking on it, on a specific process, we see the single view of this process with a nice diagram here where we see the duration between each steps. And here we have basically a table view. And here we basically see why the process engine is so great. The process engine is basically to able to correlate all these steps. As you can see here, this process step is basically has another PID instead of these order creations. And even if it's handed over to the delivery service, then we have another PID. This is basically the strength of the process engine. When we go back to the dashboard, just to keep in mind, the data is basically updated regular. So when I refresh the page, we would see that the numbers has changed so far. So now our customer is basically complaining about a high churn rate. And we can basically use this dashboard for detecting some possible bottlenecks. So what we see here is basically 333 orders has been placed, but only 109 have been basically confirmed by the customer. We see a lot of packages are lost, as I said. They are using an external service provider, so this is out of their control, but we see that a lot of packages has been returned so far. So let's click on this. So here again, we have this overview of all the processes which has been returned. And we can see on this bar chart, okay, this is basically showing that the process has started, but we see that most of the processes, most of these products has been manufactured in Düsseldorf. Some of them which has been returned are produced in Cologne and some manufactured in Leverkusen. So our first idea is that something is wrong in the manufacturing in Düsseldorf. And we can have a further detailed view on this. So we click on one specific process. And then we see that the box here is marked red. So what is telling this? Gary has explained this before. So this is telling that the SLO has breached. So this is basically beyond the threshold. It's taking much more time than we expect. So therefore, we can somehow conclude that something with the manufacturing in our factory in Düsseldorf is not going right. I would also like to mention that the engine is also capable in doing parallel flows. So when I basically click on one process where the product has been manufactured in Düsseldorf and Cologne, we see that this is running parallelly and the engine is basically capable of it. And here we have the same picture. So here the manufacturing in Cologne is within the expected time range, but in Düsseldorf, it's again breaching the threshold. And because it took quite so long, the customer wasn't really happy. He opened a dispute and he basically won the negotiation with our customer, and they had to refund everything. So therefore, we can basically conclude that the customer was somewhat impatient and he ordered it somewhere else where the order process was somewhat faster. We can also take a look on the successful deliveries. Let's take a look on this step, and we see that most of the products which has been accepted by the customer in the end were manufactured in Cologne, some of them in Düsseldorf and Leverkusen. And when we click on one flow here, let's take this one, we will basically see no red color, so no SLO has been breached. So everything is running in its expected time range. So what can we conclude? We can conclude that something in the factory in Düsseldorf is going wrong. So there's basically a bottleneck. And what can we do as a guidance or as a next step? We can basically create a very similar dashboard, which is basically monitoring the manufacturing process in Düsseldorf. And then we can basically do some further locations of the bottleneck. So that's for the demo. And now it's time for Q&A, and I will hand over back to Gauri.
Hi. There is a question which is, what is required from us in order to use your process engine in our Splunk environment?
Yeah. So thank you for the question. The precise answer to this is that we need the logs into the Splunk related to your processes, and also the as we have already shown in the slide, like there are three important things within the logs that we look at. So we want to have the logs along with the timestamp. Then also we look at the different steps that are present. The log should have the step present in that, and the data should have the correlation, so that we can basically connect different systems that are available in your processes. And in case if you are looking at or if you want to understand the POC or get to know more details for that, we are also open for that. Feel free to basically write us at webinar@cocus.com, and we will be happy to show you some kind of demo in case you have any processes in your system.
Thank you, Gauri. There is another question, which is how do you correlate multiple systems into one process?
Yeah. Nicholas, can you go to the slide for the correlation?
Yes.
You will have to go back.
Back, yes.
Yeah. So here I just have created one simple diagram to show you the correlation. So basically at a different step, for each of the step, we try to identify the unique identifier. So in this case, you can see that the very first event to have the unique identifier as a transaction ID. For the second event, which is nothing but the second step in this case, which basically have the unique identifier as the order ID. Here you can see, and that order ID is in correlation with the transaction ID. So in the box which is below at the very bottom of the slide, you can see that basically we are creating a chain of IDs to basically connect to each other. So basically if your data do have the correlation between the different system or different steps, then that's how we correlate the data, and that's how we stitch together the different systems. But thank you for the question, and hope this answered your question.
There is another one, which is, can the process engine be used in both kinds of visualization, Classic and Dashboard Studio?
Yeah, Nicholas, do you like to answer this question?
Yes. So most of our cases with our client, we have basically used the approach we have shown you, but the process engine is basically not producing the dashboards directly. So the dashboards has been produced on our own. The engine is basically only doing the correlations, and basically with this process data, we can build our dashboard we want.
Thank you. Nicholas, there is another question which is somehow related, which is where would you deploy the process engine within Splunk?
So basically our approach was, so this can be deployed as an external application. And basically you can use the custom commands from these applications. But if you have a specific process, you can also create a new application for this specific process and use basically the custom commands from the process engine. So therefore, if we want to monitor the purchase order of the customers, we can create basically a new application, use the custom commands, and create the dashboards within this application. So this is basically our best practice we have.
Yeah, and just to add to this answer, to be more precise, this will be deployed on the search head and basically available to all the different, it will be available to you on whatever the search head that you are looking at. You are on mute, I think.
Yes, thanks. Sorry. There are now two questions which are related to one another. I will ask them both. The first one is, where can I buy it? And the second one is, before we approach COCUS to support us in the activity to create such monitoring, which preparations would you advise us to take so that the project can start fast and effectively?
So to answer the very first question, where can I buy it? To get the answer, the precise answer to it is basically we would like to hear more about your own story or the processes. To do that, you can write us at webinar@COCUS. Nicholas, can you go to the next screen? Yeah. Here you can see the email ID on your screen, like webinar@cocus.com. There you can write your interest, and we will be happy to take the discussion further. Okay, and to answer the second question, what preparation would you advise to take us before start of the project is basically, if possible, or if you have your data, if you have some kind, let's say the demo data for you into your system, we want to basically we want you to ask you to basically do the thorough analysis of your processes. How to do that is we have already covered, like how to effectively do the monitoring. So the steps that are defined here are some kind of prerequisites that if you do at your end, then this will basically help us to speed up the things. Also, from the data perspective, we want to ensure that your data should have the timestamp, then data should have the steps, and data should have the correlations between the systems that are undergoing in your processes. So if you have these things available into your data, then, and if you have again the understanding of the processes, how basically what all are the different steps that are going, and basically if you have the clear understanding of the boundaries, then basically this will help us to implement the process engine very quickly into your environment. Also, feel free to write us at webinar@COCUS to take the discussion further.
There is another question. I'm reading it. A second. The question is, given an advice for preparation that was taken and information provided from us, how long would it take to implement a POC based on the process engine? Maybe taking into account that some processes can be simple and some can be actually quite complex.
Okay, to precisely give you this answer, for the POC, at least for the if you just want to get a glance of how the things are working, so we will go with the simple processes. So if you have your data into the Splunk instance, and I'm assuming we do have the access to your system, so basically within the 15 days we can bring in front of you the initial view of the things. Okay, and for the once we have basically give you the initial view for the complex cases, we can get started, and we will have different kind of things that needs to be considered. But yeah, I mean, more precise answer is within the 2 weeks, the initial glance of the things will be available to you.
Thank you, Gauri. There is another one, which is, you mentioned at some point that there were jobs to collect the data. Is an external scheduling tool necessary?
There is no external tool necessary for that. The scheduling and all these things runs inside the Splunk. So you have to have the Splunk environment available into your basically company, and we do the scheduling or we do all of the steps within the Splunk itself. So how the things will go is, we will firstly deploy our solution into your environment, and then we will have to create the app to have the customized jobs that are running for your processes. And then basically the third thing will be the dashboards, which will come into the place.
Thank you, Gauri. There are at the moment no other open questions. I would say let's wait for a minute in case anybody still has any. Otherwise, we can close the webinars quite on time.
Okay, since I have a moment, feel free to write the question till that. I just want to make one announcement. Again, repeating that if you have any question, feel free to write us at webinar@cocus.com. Also reach out to anybody of us. Paulo is here, Niklas, and my name is also available to you. So feel free to get in touch with us. We are even open to have some kind of POC, which we can create for you to give you the look and feel of how the things are happening with the process engine. Also, one other announcement is that we run this webinar monthly once, and the next webinar is on 5th of September, which is basically going to be delivered by one of our experts in the data governance arena. And that session basically covers what all are the different data quality issues are there and how to solve them with the data management techniques. So please feel free to register for that. The link to register to that event will be sent to you in the email after this session. And we are looking forward to have you there as well. That is one of the important session if you are into the data, I will say. And don't miss the opportunity to hear the great things from our expert.
Thank you, Gauri. So there are no other open questions, so I would close the webinar. Thank you, everybody, for participation. It was really nice having you here and being able to connect with the community. And we hope to hear from you in the future.
Yeah, thank you from myself and Nicholas as well. Thank you for your time and looking forward to meet you again in the next session. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. And don't forget that we are here to run your IT and make it simple for you at COCUS.